sometimes you don't realize that you have so much knowledge in your field because you're busy working in it, and you just don't realize that people that are just starting as an entrepreneur, that you can be added value for them.
Hi, welcome.
This is Tech Leap's All In. In 7 episodes, we explore the personal entrepreneurial journey of scale-up founders and leaders. This episode is about the importance of building and maintaining a close-knit community. First question for you is, what kind of issues have you encountered while scaling your business?
Do you have a minute or?
Thinking.
I think it's how do you divide your time, right? And also not only your time, but the time of the team.
Of course, I think the two biggest ones are, how do you spend your money, and how do you organize the team?
Getting the right people in, getting enough people in, and if you get them in, make sure they're paid, they know what to do, they have responsibilities, they have focus, and communicate that focus to everyone, and it becomes more and more difficult as soon as you get bigger and bigger and bigger. I think that is one of the biggest challenges and let's say mistakes that we've made in order to grow faster.
Personally, it's more of like early on, you're not sure if you're making the right decisions, and that doubt in terms of as a co-founder, that's I think every co-founder has.
So you think that this is the right thing to do, but then maybe 6 months later or 12 months later, it turns out that it actually wasn't, and in hindsight, you should have done something different. And sometimes I struggle a bit with that.
Our recruitment team, especially senior recruitment, is too small. So we need to have more capabilities there. But hiring a good senior recruiter costs like 3 months. And then they're just starting and maybe not even up and running. So, but it is the first step you need to take. You need to make time to hire more senior recruiters, and that means that other activities had to be delayed.
So raising an investment has been, early stage was a challenge. Early stage meaning the world wasn't very inclusive yet, so raising investment as a diverse team is very difficult.
Is it difficult to ask for help?
No.
I mean, so I'm English, right? So I think asking for help is a challenge naturally.
I do think I could be better at asking help also from people inside of the team. I think there are sometimes you have the feeling, given that I'm the CEO, I'm the founder, I have to have the answers. And I think that's really that's not true.
Yeah, I personally find it really difficult to ask for help. I think because I also like to solve problems, but sometimes it just takes too long because it's not my personal expertise and I need to dive into it.
I thought, okay, I will fix this first myself, and when I can get out of this, I will ask for help. But then in many cases, it's too late.
It's just nice to solve it yourself, but it's not the best way for the company.
I'm okay with not knowing things. In fact, there are many things that other people are better at than I am. So I don't see asking for help as a sign of weakness. I think it's a sign of strength.
That is for me a way to sharpen my mind, to get different opinions and then see, okay, this is how I want to move forward.
And who do you ask for help? Do you have certain people you call?
So actually a lot of my, for example, my old manager from my old job sometimes reach out for questions more from like the managerial aspect for tips and tricks.
My wife is the biggest one, probably. She's almost, sometimes my co-founder jokes that she should get a salary as well, because we discuss a lot. I think that's super important.
Starting off early on, you kind of have that more like I can do this mentality, like I said, so like you kind of believe, okay, you can do anything. But then you quickly realize, okay, you might be really good at very specific niche things, but then there's so many things you don't know. And then there will always be so many things you don't know. So at that point, like I think you quickly see the benefit of having mentors as well, or people that you can reach out and ask questions to.
And then I have probably 3 or 4 people that I really try to speak to every 2 weeks. One more on the mentoring side, which is, okay, he has been through a lot and we just go through situations, and a couple of coaches as well who really sort of try to help me think through it myself.
Yeah, if it's not within within Swipe Guide, it is with a group of other, I would say, SaaS technology founders that we talk to each other about. You pick up the phone or you send a WhatsApp. How did you tackle this? There's a lot of practical things you come across, like your first compliance audit, like an ISO or SOC security standard. Which one to take?
For example, in my case, Piet-Jan de Bruin, he's living in the US. He's my former CFO at Ahold, and he knows me very well. So he's a good mirror for myself in making decisions.
We have this network of female founders that we can reach out to for issues, and other networks like TechLeap, for example, are super valuable. Like people that are in the same that are on the same path, experiencing the same things, but from a different business, but actually you're going through the same phases.
And do others also ask you for help?
Yeah.
And are you always willing to help them?
Not always. Time is the most constraint.
Yeah, sufficiently, and maybe a little bit too much sometimes, because you can spend a lot of time also helping others. So you also need to find a balance in that as well.
You know, you get to a certain age, and then you can also start helping friends' kids with career advice or that sort of thing. That's also quite nice.
Since outside of Aidens, we have good connections with a couple of other companies that are in our field, and we have talked to them about issues they have or issues that we have, and that way we help each other.
I try to listen as good as possible, and then I try to avoid a bit to immediately jumping into, you could do this, you could do that, but really try to listen and then ask if they know where they're heading for, what they would really want.
I decided to become a mentor, where I can share my experience, of going from being a student into first of all into the job market and working as a data engineer, and then kind of going more into entrepreneurship. And that was good for me as well to reinforce what I learned, because I think through kind of telling it to somebody else, you kind of reinforce that in your mind as well, so you don't forget it.
And do you like sharing your knowledge with others?
I enjoy sharing my knowledge, but sometimes you don't realize that you have so much knowledge in your field because you're busy working in it, and you just don't realize that people that are just starting as an entrepreneur, or that you can be added value for them. It's nice to realize that as well.
I think it's important to share what worked for us and for me in the struggles we had. And it's up to, I think, the world around you if that is inspiring or whether you can learn from that.
When I was a young entrepreneur, I also spent a lot of time with experienced entrepreneurs. I still do. And I learn a lot from that. And I hope that they learn from me as well. But right now I also feel like, hey, you need to pay it forward, right? Pay it forward to others, young entrepreneurs, to inspire them to realize their mission.
Supergoed.
Ja?
Ja, heel leuk.
Cool.
Top.
Cut.
That's a wrap.
No, thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
I hope I made sense.
I feel like you did. Yes, definitely.
Ik ben heel benieuwd wat jullie ervan gaan
adviezen, denk ik.
maken.
Ja.